Welcome to the Midnight Mind. If you're new here, please subscribe. And while you're at it, hit the like button. It really does help the channel. It's midnight. It's time to enter the mind of Machiavelli. Have you ever wondered why you obey? Why you keep showing up, following orders, and protecting a system that quietly feeds on you? Every structure you serve, your company, your government, even your ideals, has one purpose: survival. And for the system to survive, someone must be sacrificed. Loyalty is the bait. Dependence is the trap. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. His final lesson isn't about cruelty or cunning. It's about liberation through betrayal. Because to serve power blindly is to consent to your own chains. Machiavelli lived through betrayal. He served the Florentine Republic with devotion, only to be imprisoned and tortured when the Medici returned to power. His loyalty meant nothing to them. That's when he saw it clearly. The system doesn't reward virtue, it rewards necessity. When you're no longer useful, your principles will not save you. In The Prince, he wrote of rulers who survived by breaking faith, because the game of power has no moral referee, only winners and corpses. This is the first hard truth. Systems devour loyalty. They consume those who follow rules while protecting those who write them. Every empire, corporation, or ideology demands submission under the illusion of stability. The faithful become servants of their own obedience. Machiavelli saw how republics collapsed not because of chaos, but because men clung to principles the system had already abandoned. When you play by rules written to keep you small, loyalty becomes a form of self-erasure. Betrayal then becomes the only act of sanity left. You might think betrayal means deceit or treachery. It doesn't. It means the courage to stop participating in a lie. It means seeing that the order you protect is rotting beneath its surface. When you betray the system, you're not turning to evil. You are turning to truth. Machiavelli's genius was not his ruthlessness, but his realism. He understood that morality without strategy is a death sentence. The man who refuses to betray when betrayal is required will be destroyed by those who don't share his scruples. Think of every modern worker who sacrifices time, passion, and identity for a company that preaches family, but cuts them the moment profits dip. That's not a deviation from the system, it is the system functioning perfectly. It trains you to be obedient, until obedience makes you disposable. The boardroom doesn't reward loyalty, it rewards leverage. Machiavelli would call it virtù, the ability to shape fate through decisive action, not moral compliance. To survive, one must be useful, not good. It doesn't mean amorality. It means understanding that virtue without power is ornamental. The system depends on your belief that it's too dangerous to walk away. It promises recognition, titles, and comfort, all while keeping you dependent. The moment you detach, you become dangerous. You start seeing how much of your duty was disguised servitude. Machiavelli advised princes to appear loyal while remaining free to act. In modern terms, learn the system, play the system, and when the moment comes, outgrow it. Here's the paradox. Betrayal is often the most honest act. It acknowledges the truth that no order lasts forever, that every structure decays, and that blind faith is self-sacrifice disguised as virtue. Systems ask for your loyalty precisely because they can't earn your trust. They need you to believe that they can remain unquestioned. To betray them is to reclaim your judgment. It's not rebellion for rebellion's sake, it's alignment with reality. The wise man does not cling to a sinking ship out of nostalgia. Machiavelli's Florence was a theatre of shifting alliances. Princes betrayed allies, ministers conspired in the dark, and republics collapsed under their own illusions. He didn't romanticize this, he studied it. He understood that power is fluid. Those who adapt survive. Those who moralize perish. His insight wasn't that deceit wins, but that rigidity kills. In a world ruled by change, loyalty to fixed ideals becomes a slow execution. Betrayal, redefined, is the willingness to evolve when the system refuses to. Look around today and you'll see the same theatre in digital form. Algorithms reward conformity, institutions reward silence, and moral outrage is sold like perfume. The system thrives when you believe your obedience is virtue, but Machiavelli would whisper otherwise. Virtue without control is delusion. The crowd obeys. The free man calculates. When the collective turns hysterical, the realist steps aside and watches the flood. Betrayal, in this sense, is not cruelty, it's clarity. It's refusing to drown for someone else's illusion. Your job, your ideology, your social circle, all form miniature systems. Each one demands loyalty. Each one fears independence. The moment you question the premise, you become a threat. This is why betrayal feels lonely at first. You're stepping outside the warmth of belonging into the cold of truth. But that cold is clean air. Machiavelli's final lesson is this: loyalty is a tool of the powerful. Betrayal, when used with precision, is the weapon of those who wish to become powerful themselves. To betray the system is not an act of rage, it is an act of rebirth. The moment you withdraw your faith from institutions that never earned it, you awaken a new kind of authority, your own. This is the strength to impose order on chaos, to command fortune instead of begging her favour. When you betray the system, you stop waiting for permission. You stop believing power will be shared. You seize it. That is the essence of freedom in a world built on obedience. Yet betrayal must be deliberate. There's a difference between defiance and strategy. The fool rebels loudly and dies early. The wise man studies the game from within, smiling as he maps the exits. Machiavelli advised princes to appear faithful while preparing for every eventuality. He knew that power is a performance. The key is to act loyal long enough to learn the script, and then rewrite it. Real betrayal is silent. It happens the moment you no longer believe their story. Psychologically, this shift is immense. Most people build their identity around the systems they serve, their career, religion, politics, family roles. When that system fails, they crumble. They mistake obedience for meaning. But meaning is personal. It cannot be borrowed. To betray the system is to retrieve your inner authority, to break the hypnotic bond that tells you who to be. Carl Jung called this individuation, the painful process of separating from the collective and becoming whole. It always feels like betrayal to those who remain inside. The herd despises the one who leaves. They will call you arrogant, ungrateful, immoral. But their outrage is only fear disguised as virtue. They need you to stay so they can believe the cage is comfort. Nietzsche saw this clearly when he wrote that the greatest sin in the eyes of the herd is independence. The system survives through guilt. It convinces you that disobedience is evil, that loyalty is sacred. But morality is the mask of control. Betrayal unmasks it. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Every revolution begins as an act of betrayal. Galileo betrayed the church by saying the earth moves. Luther betrayed Rome by speaking conscience over authority. Every innovator, artist, and thinker who shifted history first betrayed their own time. The system always calls it treason until it needs a new hero, and then rewrites the betrayal as progress. The lesson is clear. History absolves no one, but it rewards those who act before the world grants them permission. Machiavelli would say fortune favours the audacious. Betrayal, when done with purpose, is audacity refined into method. You don't destroy the system by shouting at it. You hollow it out by withdrawing your obedience. You build something stronger in its place. The system fears not rebellion, but replacement. That's why those who master themselves become untouchable. They no longer seek validation from a dying order. They create their own hierarchy. Power always shifts toward those who no longer need approval. But beware of one danger. Betrayal without discipline becomes chaos. Machiavelli warned that those who seize power must know how to govern it. If you destroy the old order but lack the strength to build, you become another pawn of chance. Betrayal is not the end, it's the threshold. You must carry the two across it. Control, insight, self-command. Otherwise, you trade one master for another. The system's collapse means nothing if you still think like its subject. Freedom without mastery is just another illusion. The modern world encourages rebellion in safe doses. Hashtags, slogans, outrage. But real betrayal is private, silent, existential. It happens when you stop letting algorithms decide what you think, when you stop letting corporations define your worth, when you stop apologizing for wanting sovereignty. The true act of betrayal is to live by your own design in a culture that worships conformity. Machiavelli's wisdom applies here. Do not waste your life proving your virtue to those who profit from your obedience. To betray the system is to break the cycle of dependency. You cease to react and begin to initiate. You stop serving a machine that thrives on your submission. The system depends on your fear of being alone, because isolation is the price of clarity. Once you stand apart, you're no longer seduced by its rewards. You start to see power for what it really is, a resource, not a god. And from that moment, no one owns you. Not your boss, not your ideology, not your tribe. In the end, betrayal is a kind of purification. It strips away illusion until only will remains. Machiavelli's final lesson is not cruelty, it's realism sharpened into freedom. To survive, you must outgrow the system that raised you. You must become the architect of your own order. The herd will call you ruthless. The weak will call you lost. But power is never given to those who wait for moral permission. It belongs to those who betray when betrayal becomes the only honest act left. Every age creates its own prisons and its own heretics. Today's prison is comfort. Today's heretic is the individual who refuses to be managed. Machiavelli's wisdom burns through time with the same clarity. Loyalty is cheap, but sovereignty is priceless. The system survives because you feed it faith. The moment you withdraw that faith, it collapses. So betray the system, not with anger, but with awareness. Refuse to play their game. Rule yourself, and you'll never again bow to anyone else's throne. Well, that's it for today's episode. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you would like to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time.